Hey everyone, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're investigating what it actually means to age well. It's this universal thing we are literally all going to face. But to find some real, solid, data-driven answers, we're looking at some fascinating new insights from a massive, nationally representative study out of Vietnam. And honestly, it's a study that might completely change how you think about growing older. Take a look at this number, 2036. Now that's not some far-off sci-fi future. That is the exact year Vietnam will officially hit a demographic cliff and transition into what economists call an aged society. To put that into perspective, by 2036, over 14.2% of Vietnam's entire population is going to be 65 or older. The sheer speed and massive scale of this demographic shift are just staggering. It sets up an absolutely urgent need for the whole country to figure out not just how to keep people alive longer, but how to ensure they're actually thriving. All right, moving to section 1, decoding the index. Let's look at how we actually measure healthy aging. So, according to the World Health Organization, healthy aging is all about experiencing growing older while maintaining your functional ability and promoting overall well-being. Basically, health isn't just the absence of disease. It's not just avoiding high blood pressure or not having arthritis. It's this highly holistic mix of physical, mental, and social wellness, all interacting together. To actually put a hard number on this, researchers built the Healthy Aging Index, or HAI. They used 22 specific variables to score thousands of seniors across 6 key buckets. They looked at physical capabilities, like can you get dressed or manage your own money. They looked at physiological health, general health status, and mental health, checking for things like depression. But they also measured community engagement and, really importantly, family relationship experience, making sure things were healthy at home. They rolled all this up to give everyone a comprehensive score from 0 to 100. Now, check out this distribution from 2019 and 2022. See how the data is all bunched up on the left side? In this context, that is actually fantastic news. It means Vietnamese seniors are scoring impressively high, with average scores landing right around 84 out of 100. And get this, those index scores stayed incredibly stable even through the massive disruptions of the COVID-19 pandemic. So overall, we are looking at a remarkably healthy older population. Which brings us to Section 2, surprising predictors of health. What actually makes those scores go up? Now, to be fair, some of the data perfectly matched what you'd probably expect. More wealth, higher education, reliably better health scores, mostly because of better resources. On the flip side, being female or being in the oldest old bracket, meaning 80 and above, strongly correlated with lower scores, which we see globally just due to the physical realities of age. But here is where it gets super interesting. Researchers compared seniors who don't do household chores with those who do. Think about that for a second. How much impact could doing laundry, sweeping the floor, or making lunch really have on someone's long-term health trajectory? Well, 17.47 points. That is the massive, undeniable point boost on that 100-point scale for seniors who simply performed routine household chores. I mean, that's a colossal leap. It completely blows past the impact of a lot of the financial or social factors they looked at. So, what's the magic behind the broom? Well, chores actively force you to move. They require flexibility. Doing that every day maintains your joints and muscles. But it's actually way more than just a light workout. Accomplishing these little daily tasks really elevates your mood and mental health. It proves that staying actively engaged in the daily rhythm of life, rather than just being totally passive, is an absolute game changer for aging well. All right, let's jump to Section 3, the family support paradox. This finding was a genuine surprise. Let me ask you this. Does living with family guarantee a healthier old age? I think for a lot of us, especially in cultures like Vietnam with such deep-rooted traditions of caring for elders, we'd say, well, yeah, absolutely. We naturally assume living with a spouse or kids is the ultimate safety net. But check out this paradox in the data. Seniors living with a spouse or a child actually scored significantly lower on the Healthy Aging Index than seniors who were living entirely alone. I know it feels totally backward, but this massive data set showed that just living together definitely did not equal better health. So why on earth is this happening? When you peel back the layers, a few things pop out. First, high dependency. Seniors living with family often lean on them so much that they actually lose their own physical and mental independence over time. Then there's family isolation. If your whole social world is just your family, you severely reduce that vital outside community interaction. Plus, we have to talk about caregiver burnout. The family members, usually female relatives juggling work and life, get incredibly stressed, which can lead to real generational tension in the house. And finally, strained family finances might mean the senior isn't getting the professional medical care their complex conditions actually need. The tradition comes from a place of deep love, for sure, but it can accidentally hold back a person's health. Moving on to Section 4, Policies for a Healthier Future. Let's talk about actionable solutions. Based directly on all this data, researchers laid out a three-step blueprint. Step 1 is fostering lifelong learning. We know education protects the brain, so community classes for older folks are a must. Step 2 is expanding social welfare and pensions, specifically for vulnerable groups, so money doesn't become a barrier to basic healthcare. And Step 3, this is the big one, develop integrated care models. We are talking doctors, social workers, and the community all teaming up to provide care. And that requires a huge paradigm shift. Societies simply have to start moving away from a strict 100% reliance on families and shift heavily toward professional home and community-based care. We've seen what caregiver burnout does. There is an undeniable need for professional, affordable infrastructure to support seniors while finally giving modern working families a breather. Which leaves us with this final, vital question to ponder. Is your society building the right infrastructure for the demographics of tomorrow? The data out of Vietnam is like a crystal ball for so many nations that are aging rapidly. It challenges our deepest assumptions about family care and gives us a real data-driven roadmap. So take a second to think about how these findings apply to your own community. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking the big questions.